Good morning, everybody. I am Indah Rumondang. I came from Indonesia. Thank you for the invitation to join the 21st International Conference on Sustainable Development here in Ottawa, Canada. I did a research about determinant factors of financial inclusion, study on Laku Pandai in Indonesia with my professors, Mr. Zilal Hamzah and Mrs. Eleonora Sofilda. My presentation will be divided into 5 parts. First, introduction. Second is literature in review. Third is research methodology. Fourth is analysis and results. And fifth is conclusion and recommendation. We start from introduction. We see from the left side, there are some targets of 2030 SDGs development goals that require the role of financial inclusion to enable governments to reach the development goals. This is the importance of financial inclusion. The positive impacts of financial inclusion programs expected to be expanding access to financial service, economic growth, and to maintaining national financial stability. In the middle of this slide, you see that 2 bar charts. First is the Financial Literacy Index, and the second is Financial Inclusion Index. If you're aware, this is anomaly. Normally, one will buy a product if they have knowledge or they know what is the product. But here, you can see from these 2 bar charts, more people has the account than people who knows what is the account of a bank. The increase of financial inclusion from my eyes, we thought do the research. First, the programs aim at reaching unbanked and underserved population, some factors on demand side, some factors on supply side, and then also some factors that come from stakeholders. And then at the right side, you see 2 graphics. First is number of agent of Laku Pandai. Second is number of SR customers. Bank saving account. This is the basic saving account that introduced by OJK to be sold through agent Laku Pandai. You see from this chart that the number of basic customers and the number of agents of Laku Pandai are increasing from the day one they were introduced until some point, and then after that they are diminishing. It's year 2021 for the basic customers and year 2022 for the agent of Laku Pandai. Why? We are going to see in the research. Before we go to research, we have to understand what is the basic saving accounts and what is the Laku Pandai program. Laku Pandai program is a program that use people outside than bank and use the technology. The accounts provide benefit and simplicity only for Indonesian citizens individuals, free monthly administration fee and other fees, and only in rupiah denomination. Like other bank accounts, basic saving accounts guaranteed by Indonesia Deposit Insurance Corporation. From the problems that we found in the field, there are 4 problems come up. According to this problem, we derive the research objectives. There are 4 research objectives in this paper. First is to analyze efforts related to constraints obstacles and benefits of Laku Pandai for financial inclusion. Second, to analyze the determining factors that significantly influence financial institution and Laku Pandai. The third is to analyze why banks close Laku Pandai operations. And fourth, to provide policy recommendations to enhance Laku Pandai implementation and support the increase of financial inclusion. What is the research benefits expected from this research? Obviously, we need to offer some recommendations to Bank Indonesia and also to other regulators or stakeholders. And then we also have limitations and novelty. First, this is the first research, I believe, that conducted in-depth interviews with both regulators and operators simultaneously done in Indonesia for Laku Pandai and financial inclusion. And we expect this study employs both qualitative and quantitative analysis, but we cannot do the quantitative side here. We only do the qualitative side. Now we go back to here to look for the theory. What is the theory for this business? For the grand theory, it takes from public policy theory. According to Boston, public policy is defined as what the government chooses to do. And according to Dunn, there are a cycle we have to follow. So a policy is not once and then stop, but one, we are making the policy, we are implementing the policy, we are efforting the policy, just like a cycle. And if I look carefully on the process, because I joined the financial inclusion from starting in BI and then to OJK. In Indonesia, we implement the incremental policy model, which is according to Hill, a lot of bargaining and compromise happen here. From year 2011, where Bank Indonesia and the Committee of Poverty Alleviation work together to make the national strategy of financial inclusion in year 2011. And then 2013, Bank Indonesia issued the Digital Financial Services Regulation for e-money. And then 2014, OJK issued the regulation of Laku Pandai for banks only. Various ministry agencies and local governments are hand in hand working together for this financial inclusion strategy implementation. From the implemented theory, we go through financial inclusion, especially the financial inclusion framework and development. This is the 2020 pillar and foundation, the National Financial Inclusion Strategy. There is 5 pillars with the roof and then with the basement that we have to write the regulation, implementation, the program, and then evaluate, and then we come to the house of our financial inclusion. From this pillar, Laku Pandai is in the 3rd pillar, but they are also used in the 4th pillar because Laku Pandai is used to support the Bansos program or government special assistance for poor people. For financial inclusion, issued by OSILI, we see there are many theories that come or we have to follow. First, the theories of financial inclusion beneficiary from public good theory, dissatisfaction theory, vulnerable good theory, and then we also go through the theories of financial inclusion delivery. How to deliver the financial inclusion. First is community echelon theory, second is public service theory, third is special agent theory, fourth is collaboration intervention theory, fifth is the financial literacy theory. We can go then to research and methodology. We use qualitative method. Research design comprised of two: grounded theory of thoughts and systematic literature review. We use the FGD and the coding, which is comprised of first cycle coding and the second cycle coding. In-depth interview with regulator and operator officials, we get data types and source through the presentations from informants, including in-depth interview using open-ended questions. Data analysis will use NVivo, and coding will use two steps. Systematic literature review, we use Web of Science and go through Prisma, and we use Bibliometric using R software, and then do the analysis of keyword relationships, and then we also do data triangulation, compare the result from NVivo and the result of SLR. We come to analyze and results. This is the in-depth interview. You see, 4 institutions as part of regulator is interviewed, and the 5 banks as part of operator are interviews. From the informant name, you can see not only one person, but also some person. Then you see the aggregate hierarchy, determinant factors, the blue one, then implementation, which is comprised with challenges and regulation at the brown side. From the aggregate hierarchy, those reference using NVivo, you see that education and literacy get the highest reference, which is 8 from 9 informants suggest that education and literacy is the problems. And after we do the first cycle, and then we got the picture like this. The left side is informant operator side, the right side is informant regulator side. In informant side, you see that there are some factors like agent recruitment, and then also other things here. And then from the regulator side, you can see the reporting system and also the e-money as the instrument, and many other factors that come from the regulator side. And also some factors or some variables that come from both sides, informant from operator side and informant from regulator side, will come up together. You see like cash transfer, and then that less literate, bigger than saving behavior, and then banks, incentive. Some banks ask for bank incentive from government or from maybe OJK or Bank Indonesia to enable them to cover the costs that they have to use for Laku Pandai operation and other things here. And then from the second cycle, we see all the challenges. If we really do it, transform it, can be the determinant factors. And then if we add some other factors like customer data, broadbands, and then stakeholder synergy, we can come up and reach the operational success of Laku Pandai and to enable Laku Pandai to be a good vehicle for financial inclusion, we need the regulation side. Regulation side, including reporting system, monitoring, and bank procedure adjustment. Systematic literature review, we see from the Prisma, we get the eligible literature for financial inclusion and education about 232, financial inclusion determinants about 26, and financial literacy, financial inclusion is about 160. After we do the review deeper and analyze the networks between keywords, financial inclusion, and determinants, we got this kind of picture. Oh, just like, wow, spider web. And spider web become more clear if we go deeper. The left side, the financial inclusion versus literacy versus financial institution versus credit versus economic growth. You see the relationship between the financial inclusion and then some variables are very thick. And then the right side, literacy versus savings versus financial behavior. Then we can come to the conclusion and recommendation. Do you want to increase the number of BSS savers? Increase the number of bank agents nationwide. From NV4 got 4 conclusion. First, the education and literacy is the most important determinant, while monitoring is the most important aspect in regulation. Second, if obstacles are overcome, they can become opportunities to boost access and usage. Third, social assistance program cause imbalance between degree inclusion of financial and with literacy. And the fourth, to focus on basic saving account and cost center were reasons for Laku Pandai closures. From SLR, we got the conclusion. Financial inclusion is related to literacy and education. Other supporting factors include gender, area, credit, access, and institutions play roles. Financial inclusion and financial literacy will impact the stability and competitiveness of bank sector. And the last one, saving behavior is determined by the level of literacy and self-efficacy. What is the implication? Practical implication, dynamic nature of regulations will provide flexibility with good governance. And further research should take specific areas or geographical diversity into account. There are 4 big recommendations that we are suggesting to stakeholders and the regulators and also the operator of Laku Pandai. First, utilize the relationship between agents and savers. There are some keys here. Second, implementation of agent driving factors. Fourth, strengthening licensing regulation and supervision. Fourth, form an Ayo Menabung or Let's Save national movement. This is my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Mauliate. Have a good day.